Hey, what's up Yoon-Fam? It is I,
Mark Yoon.
and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So what I want to talk about today is a little topic that I've seen popping up here and there recently after Hwang Seong Gyeong's trailer has finally dropped, and that is Season 3. And more in particular, it's a specific part of Season 3. That would be the code name that's in the data files for Star. As I have openly stated in the past, I believe that Star is Yoon Seong, just because his name directly translates from the Korean version of the Chinese meeting, which is what they originally used the Chinese characters for both parts of the Korean names. That is called Hanja, and the Hanja for that means star or big star. So I know there's a lot of discrepancies whether it is pertaining to Algol directly or Yoon Seong. I've already given my reasons why I don't believe Algol should be in this game, whether you're a fan of Algol or not. I believe everybody should hold this open opinion that we need his bringing power and staying power for Soul Calibur 7, and I know it may be a ways off by 2 or 3 years, but I believe it would be the benefit of everybody and the game itself and the lore if we held him off, or at least showed him in someone's Soul Chronicle, like as the Hero King, before he transforms into full-fledged Algol himself for being the villain of Soul Calibur 7. I think that would be an excellent idea, but that's for another video. What we're talking about today is the higher possibility now that Yoon Seong is Star, now that Hwang has been announced and released as of tomorrow, because this video is for Tuesday, even though it's being pre-recorded earlier. So, in the trailer, the biggest thing that we can see is we see Seongmina's Soul Calibur 4 variation of herself. And if you notice in the background of the PNG for the file of Hwang, like what his character design looks like, you see like some kind of temporal anomaly or portal. This could either have to do with his Taoist magic that he's using with his cards, or it could possibly be a portal, maybe an astral fissure, something akin to the variation of the old timelines, Hwang coming back into this timeline. Maybe that's why we see the Soul Calibur 4 variation of Seongmina in his trailer specifically, and not the Soul Calibur 6 variation. A lot of that's up in the air. I've seen a lot of different speculative things going around that point, and a lot of them do hold credence, so I'm not going to hold it to any one thing or say that my theory on it is 100% correct. I think that there's a lot of possibilities that are ensuing, and we can't actually know until his Soul Chronicle comes out and drops on Wednesday. But why does this lead more variation to the game, and why do I assume that Yoon Seong is now going to be incorporated? Well, Yoon Seong fans can breathe easy not knowing that their character doesn't have a chance of coming in since Hwang Seong Gyeong is in, because I have a couple different reasons as to why I think this actually lends credence to the possibility of him being Star in the last character of Season 3. The first reason being is that Hwang Seong Gyeong's design is a lot more closely related to that of his assassin variation, or what was considered to be Hwang as assassin in Soul Calibur 2. It looks more akin to going in that direction, more of a Taoist or almost a ninjutsu type of scenario, where besides just his straight up Taekyon fighting. Now he does have his Taekyon abilities, his kicks and all that are still there with the character, but he was always differentiated between Yoon Seong in that aspect, and maybe they didn't want two Korean Chinese sword fighters to be that closely related and put them both in the game. So the fact that Hwang has such a drastic overhaul and is playing such a larger role, or a different role than he used to before, I think this lends, or at least opens the door for Yoon Seong being incorporated into the game as his own separate character, especially since you can basically call Hwang in this game a new character because his style is so completely different than what it was before. So this would also open up the door for, if Yoon Seong does in fact use a Chinese blade as well, then it would be in there. My number 2 reason is in his weapons. Now, not only weapons, but creation parts. So if we were going to assume that Yoon Seong was going to be completely replaced by Hwang as it incorporated into this game, you would assume that we would get the Yoon Seong classic creation parts with this character, so that people could create Yoon Seong using Hwang's new style. That's not the case, though, however. We have Seongmina's Soul Calibur 4 creation parts instead of Yoon Seong's, which means that possibly we are going to get Yoon Seong later on. This is further implicated by the fact that when you look at all of the weaponry that Hwang has used, is using in this game that he has available to him, they are not Yoon Seong's weapons. They are specifically and very much Hwang's weapons. There is no variation that even gives us one of Yoon Seong's weapons, saving room for them to be incorporated later on in the game. Now, the third reason that I have for Yoon Seong definitely being the character, or possibly being the character that is in Season 3, is the fact that the story doesn't really have anything to do with Yoon Seong from Hwang. They shared a very similar goal-oriented story before, whereas they were both, you know, part of the same Song Dojo. They were Dojang, I'm sorry, and they were both incorporated into the story with Han Myung and with Mina. But now it seems that Hwang is playing such a different role, almost a superhero-esque role, that it leaves the gate open for Yoon Seong to take over both of their roles in that actual aspect. So we could definitely see him come back in the future, just because of story-related reasons as well. Now, we could also get more hints on this when his Soul Chronicle comes up, because if Hwang even mentions Yoon Seong, or if he's mentioned or popped up at all in any of the new Soul Chronicles, either Mitsurugi's or I believe it's Nightmare. There's two of them. I'm sorry, I forget exactly which ones. But if it's one of those and he's even mentioned in there, then we can have more encouragement that he would be his own character. So there's other implications that make him in there as well, like the fact that you can't create him. They don't give us his custom parts. There's a bunch of like reasons behind that, thematically speaking as well, with the story of Soul Calibur as a whole. And I've seen a lot of even my subscribers mentioning this, especially on my Discord, about like Metal Raptor in specific. He was also mentioning the same things that I was thinking about. Why is it the Soul Calibur 4 version of Sung Mina? What is up with Nightmare? Why does he look more like a different variation of himself? And obviously in the trailer, we can see towards the end of the trailer that this is probably the Inferno version or Charade version, whichever one. That variation of Nightmare. That's why he's like more metaphysical, and he doesn't have solid ports. He's more see-through and corporeal, non-corporeal rather. So I think there's a lot of implications towards that, but I think the biggest thing is the factor that we get Sung Mina's classic stuff for creation as opposed to Hwang's classic stuff. I mean, Yoon Seong's classic stuff. And in Hwang's weaponry, there's nothing akin to that of what Yoon Seong actually utilized in the past. So I think a lot of these factors are actually leading towards the fact that Star is in fact going to be Yoon Seong, and we are going to get him in Season 3. And as I said before, this is no hate against Algol. Algol is a cool character, but I think he should play a much larger role than just being dropped off in DLC. I know some people that just play online or in tournaments want to be able to use him. That's if they allow us to use him at all online, because Inferno's not usable. He is completely different from Aswell, so I wouldn't see him using that argument, but they do kind of serve the same purpose, if that makes sense. But I am gunning for Algol being incorporated into Soul Calibur 7 in the base cast, as I think if he's not the main antagonist, he is going to be a sub-main antagonist that is going to be there to push the plot along. We may see something different from what we saw in Soul Calibur 4 with him, but anything else that's different in this new timeline is going to lend towards better story and better characterization and better lore. So I don't want you Algol fans out there to give up hope, and I'm not telling you that like I'm definitively saying that Star is 100% Yoon Seong, even though that's my belief and that's what I think the character is. It's definitely open to interpretation at this point, and I could be wrong about that, so I'm not trying to say this is the end-all be-all. My opinion is the only thing that matters. You definitely have the right to believe or interpret it in any way that you want, and we can't know until we actually know, right? But with that being said, guys, I want to continue the comment section discussion, and I also want you guys to hop on my Discord to see if you can continue discussion as well there before. And let's just bring any all thoughts. They're always welcome. And as always, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. And again, thank you for surpassing 900 subscribers now. Let's get to 1,000 soon so we can have an end of the year big stream where we announce new things and I start live streaming once a week, or maybe possibly more. Any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below. Also, in the Discord, there is a channel part for you to make video suggestions, and I do follow them. So, with that being said, bring this video to a close. I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.